This is John Mark speaking from Kemfig in South Wales, United Kingdom. I understand that Mr. Scott Parker, I will put on this tape later in the upstairs hall of the Prince of Wales Inn in Kemfig. I should point out that the sounds we have recorded are in no sense a continuous phenomena, but what we get is a very small amount of sound over many hours of recording. We cannot say at this time what prompts these sounds to appear, neither can we state in quantifiable scientific terms why they appear. The inn itself is quite an ancient building, going back possibly 500-600 years, and over the centuries is had many uses. It was the guildhall of a town called Kemfig, which was buried by sand and sea sometime in medieval times. The building survived because it was on higher ground, out of the reach of the incoming sands. Recent archaeological evidence would suggest that the inrush of sand happened over a very short period of time and was indeed quite catastrophic to the inhabitants of Kemfig sometime in the 15th century. The hall or room in which we've made these recordings has had different uses over the centuries, and we have archive information that it was a court of law where malefactors were sentenced, often to death it seems, and they were hung on a scaffold situated at a place called Maudlem, some 2 miles away from the inn. Quite a lot is known about the town of Kemfig from archive material, ancient documents, and the charter of the town granted by Lord Despencer in the 14th century, 1368 to be precise, was discovered concealed in an iron box in the wall of the inn back in 1940. It was a walled town and it had a castle and was situated in a defensive position by the side of a river. It was a Norman town, and in those days the Welsh, who were indigenous people of Wales, bitterly resented the intrusion of the Normans that occurred following their conquest of this country in 1066. And consequently the marauding Welsh fighters, freedom fighters you would call them, attacked the town and burnt it and sacked it on no less than 5 occasions. Now there's little to be seen. There is a few walls of the castle protruding through the sands, but the town itself was further to the west of the castle is completely covered. It is considered by some to be one of the finest potential archaeological sites in Europe, and some experts think that a medieval town could well be preserved under the sand, and steps are being taken when money and funds can be obtained to carry out an excavation of this very historic site. Anyway, Mr. Nelk, I won't bore you with all these historic details. I will put on a summary of some of the sounds we've recorded. The first one you hear was recorded as recent as January the 1st of this year. This sound occurred about 5 a.m. in the morning. To fill the tape up, or partially fill it, I will put some interviews we've had with the media and some other information which I trust will be of interest. If it isn't, well, please forgive me. Okay, Mr. Nelk, I'll put this sound on now, so if you'd stand by. I'd emphasize that in no sense was these recordings a hoax, but they really occurred in that room. And my friend Alan Jones, who is an industrial chemist, his theory is that somehow these mysterious sounds are encapsulated within the fabric of the building, and that by random probability we are disturbing or energizing sites within the structure that give out the energy of sounds, which have somehow been recorded within the silica and ferric oxide structure from which the inn is constructed. Anyway, it's all very mysterious, and we propose later this year to conduct further experiments with some more sophisticated equipment, and we're working on a computer program to enhance these sounds. Our time is limited in a sense because I travel extensively in my work as electrical engineer, and Alan also travels extensively. In fact, he'll be stateside next week. I'll give him your letterhead or a copy of it, and perhaps he'll telephone you here there at St. Louis. Okay, Mr. Lark, I'll put these sounds on now.